Bonus stream. Round 2. Go Megan. I want to do... Maybe I'll react to some YouTube videos. I've been kind of trying to be polite and turning it down whenever someone asks me to watch a video on stream. But maybe we'll do it today. Or tonight. Maybe we start some drama by accident. Bruh. Hello. Bonus stream. There we go. We might do some React to Andy. I don't know. I didn't really have a plan. I just wanted to stream. What's up? How's it going? How you guys doing? I watched a clip. You know what? I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to call out someone. It made me laugh though. I essentially watched a clip of someone essentially gaslight their audience into thinking that Ayaka is as good as she used to be, and I'm like, I laughed out loud. Oh my god. Was it a take? Yeah, it was a take. Yo. I think it is a pretty reasonable take to say content is essentially biased against any cryo characters. I don't think that's a hot take. I think it's a pretty mild take. I think it's... in a lot of the same ways it's biased against animo characters. At least animo DPSs. I think trying to claim otherwise is a delusional take. And trying to appeal to essentially... I say... it's for something specific. I know what I'm talking about, you don't. Is really just gaslighting. It's really gaslighting, and it really just made me laugh. It's a wild take. She could have a year of redemption. She could. It could happen. I could definitely say it. As I said, I don't think Ayaka's bad. I think content is dramatically biased against her. They are literally programming enemies with higher freeze resistance. We haven't seen those since Consecrated Beasts. Actually, I don't know about the golems. But yeah, that clip just really made me laugh. I found it humorous. Nope, crap. What about Eula? What about them? Local legends have 90% freeze resistance. Most of them are bosses, so who really gives a shit? A lot of them can't be frozen at all. Oh, you're talking about the Fatui. It's not just the local legends. It's actually all of the Fatui, I think. The debt collectors, all of them have freeze resistance. I think. You want Abyss help? Wait, what? Someone need Abyss help? Hello? I can do a viewer Abyss. We're available for that. Hello. New lineup. Yeah, we're gonna the new lineup. Abyss is about to change again. Yes, new lineup is incoming. How do you skip 5 weeks for Emily? And before Emily's second half? I doubt it. They haven't done there hasn't been a lot of solo 5 stars this their second half. Ugh. Hello. You haven't pulled for 8 months?
Yep.
Surely the new lineup will make Clorinde feel good. Clorinde can feel good. She's really hard to play. She has a learning curve. Kind of one of a kind in that way. I don't know. Clorinde's weird. Passive! Bro, these are filling up again. Clorinde is your Chi-Chi support? Oh, okay. Wait, I really like this wargame name card. Getting base freeze res, 90% is only the local legend status one. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Let's spend resin over here. Good job, me. Wait, no. Good job, me. Oops. Passive. Passive! Plus 100 gone. Reduced to atoms. Decimated. Hello. We'll get a good artifact today. Surely. Is there anything to roll? Let me look. What do we have? Okay, we have to roll feathers, we have to roll flower. Okay, we have to roll everything. We don't have anything. God. The worst luck. Cannot force this. Come on, Articuno. Give me some artifacts. I'm trying very hard. Okay. Whimsy is a cursed domain. Whimsy is truly a cursed domain. Okay, then. Okay, then. Should you keep pushing Nika Soul Raid top 5%? I have no idea what that is. Bruh. We call it the flat domain? Bruh. Oh, garbage. Yep, absolutely garbage. Why is this so hard? The justice domain. You know what? We can call it justice domain. Clorinde's here. Come on. Not bad. Yeah, honestly, not bad. I don't think you've gotten a single crit damage shot with a crit rate sub. Ooh, the domain of all time. For real, for real. Hello. How's it going? It's going well. How are you? What time is it? It's 10:30. It's not that late. I just wanted to keep streaming. It's on the menu tonight. I have no idea. We could do React Andy to Clorinde content, if you guys would like. Clorinde or Emily content. Something else we could do is some kind of Abyss PvP. I don't know. I don't have any other suggestions. We watered our plants earlier today, so we can't do that. Push-ups on stream. I'm not gonna move my camera. I can do push-ups on the bed in the back, but that's not really gonna work. Saw a video, someone skipped Alhaitham for Clorinde and regrets it. That's interesting. Yeah, I think we'll do some React Andy. Clorinde React content, I think. I'm not sure. Have I tried Clorinde Nihita Beto Furina? I've tried Beto, and she's actually surprisingly comfortable. Beto is a pretty good defensive character. Beto is a... I'd normally hate to admit it, but it's kind of funny. And it's kind of nice. Could we go to like lowest common denominators from Hoyo Lab? Sure. If you send me something, we'll look at it on stream. I will at least browse it. No, I'm just literally an extra line. Theory. Okay. I guess only the special ones have freeze resistance. Thank you. Next Abyss reset will be the start of monthly resets. It will. We still... 4.8 only has one Abyss layout. What are they going to do about that? What are they going to... Why does 4.8 not have two Abyss layouts? It's supposed to reset in the middle of the patch, right? Right? Am I crazy? I'm not crazy. 4.7 is 2 months. Oh, God. I hope not. I really hope not. We'll save. I hope not. That'd be a slog. Two months of the same layout is rough. I thought it was bad with 6 weeks already. Is 4.7 cringe? Abyss cringe? It's a lot of the same, where it's four-wave, multi-wave, pyro shields, specifically only pyro shields. And some bosses that specifically cater to on-banner characters. I think this one has the Simon? Or is that the next one? I'll pull it up in a second. Simon? Yeah, this one has Simon. Yeah. Oh yeah, regular... No, regular Genki is the next one? I don't... Let me fucking look. Hanj. Spiral Abyss. 4.7. Yeah, so this one has the regular Kenki. Regular Kenki is back! Back like he never quit. And then Simon, four-wave multi-wave again. Pyro shields, pyro shields. Pyro shields. And Electro. Consecrated Beasts, yeah. No, how they're making waves with 2 million HP enemies, yeah. Is it really 2 months of that Abyss layout? It is. Can I give my thoughts about Emily? Yes. She's really a Chiori. She's another Chiori, essentially. She's a character who just does damage. She does a lot of damage, kind of like Chiori. But she doesn't buff your on-fielders at all. So people may feel that she's not impactful or an upgrade at all. That's a little subjective, though. At the end of the day, she does something very similar where she takes teams that you really wouldn't have even thought about playing and makes them a lot better. You could somewhat compare her to Xiangling in some teams. But a lot of times you'll be playing them both together. It really depends on what characters you're playing. She's most comparable to Xiangling for on-field Pyro characters. For on-field Hydro and on-field Cryo, you're gonna run Xiangling anyway. And when you talk about on-field Pyro characters, that's where the critique about her not buffing your on-fielder comes in, because Xiangling does. Also, yeah, she has no edge requirement, and she also technically does more damage. At least compared to unreacted Xiangling. She also doesn't steal your Bennett uptime, which is relevant for some characters more than others. I have a pretty positive opinion on Emily. Sort of. I know what to do with her. I just don't know how good she'll be. Can she replace Xiangling in a Navia team? In single target? Maybe. But should you do that? I don't think so. It won't work in multi-target. It just won't. Or in multi-wave. It won't work consistently in multi-wave. You're losing Pyro Resonance on your Navia. I think it's really sus. And I wouldn't recommend it. I'll find a dump. Yeah, you get bonus primos from Abyss Reset now. Or we get bonus primos from Abyss Reset now. Okay. I am no longer upset. Thank you. Farming Raiden? This is community account. We don't have Raiden. We don't have Raiden, we don't have Clorinde. We're on the alt. First thing we're gonna roll is the Goblet. We might get a new light upgrade. Which could be massive if we get one. Damn it. Oh, that sucks. Damn it. Fuck. Hate to see it. Fuck. I'm okay with this. I'm still okay with this. This is, I think, a Xiangling upgrade. Maybe. No. No, it's not. Okay. I tried. We got a pyro goblet. Just send it. Holy minerals. Are we gonna do a new one for the new endgame? It's a really big ask. We're either gonna do... I have thoughts for what community events. We could either do another run of a community account, or we could do Abyss PvP tournament for one of the upcoming layouts. Which do you guys think is better content? Or is more interesting content? What would you be interested in watching? A tournament or another community account run? Draft PvP? Yeah, draft PvP. Watching whales try to out-whale each other doesn't sound fun. Buh. Wow, this is rolling well. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take... Why not? Invite Cardi? Yeah, I know. I would. I'd reach out to her and help promote it. Ideally. It's not speedruns. If we were going to do speedruns, it would be a live speedrun competition. Is what I think would be more interesting. So you'd get a certain amount of resets. If we wanted to do like a traditional speedrun tournament. That's how I would organize it currently. Because I think a live performance is a little more interesting than a run that's been crafted in a lab, essentially. Oh, that sucks. Have you guys seen the fastest Clorinde speedrun? Or the fastest C2 Clorinde speedrun? What is it? Oh, I'll show you. Check it. Check this out. The 44? Yeah, the 44. The dish whip one. I talked to him a bit this morning about it. It was interesting. It's a very interesting run. Yeah. He's booking, but cutting it out. Don't be fooled. It's an edited run. The unedited one is at the end. But you get the idea. Is this C6? This is C2. But yeah, here's the crazy thing. Hold up, go back. I talked to him about the process for echoes. He said he spent 3 hours and only had 1 successful run on Chamber 2. He just fished for perfect echoes procs. He reset for echoes procs. Wild. Absolutely wild. Pat on the back, it's insane. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Like, genuine respect. Here, you wanna, let's look at the, actually, he's gonna play the clip. Yeah, he's gonna play with the freaking books. Here, let's look for the Echoes procs. Let's look, let's see if we can find them. What's their ping? 14. Also, he's on iPad, so he can do 120 FPS, but he said his iPad got too hot, so it's 60 FPS. And I'm like, you actually could have saved yourself time. You'd get better Echoes procs and more hits out of Clorinde on 120 FPS. But whatever, that's besides the point. But whatever. He did it on 60. 4, 5, 8, 3, 3. 37, 37. There's the 56. There's an Echoes. 60. 55, 55. 26. There's an Echoes proc. There's another Echoes proc, I think. Yeah, there's one. There's one. There's one. Based. Absolutely kind of based. Respect. Just the most respect in the world. You don't get it? It's a mindset. It is a mindset. Surely this means Echoes is her best set. I mean, if you want to be that guy, yeah, it kind of does. If you want to be that guy, yeah, it kind of does. Is this Chevrolet and Star C6? Yes. I'd be concerned if it wasn't. But yeah, you could make a pretty credible argument that Echoes is actually your best set because of stuff like this. You could definitely say that. It's similar enough on paper to the other sets, but you can fish it. So, you know what? You could say it's her best set. Socks was saying all along. There's Chamber 2, please. Like, this is insane. Would Coppelius be possible with cracked Whimsy? I don't know how optimistic their Echoes procs are. I actually don't. I don't know how good these Echo procs are. All I know is he said it took him 3 hours. And he only had 1 successful run. That's all I know. And he's on 90 crit rate, by the way. Let me get the build. You think Whimsy is better? Yeah, I don't know how much better you can get. Yeah, I don't know how much better you can expect to get. What are the cards? Good question. Crit, skill, 40 attack. Okay, yeah, you could. You could do it with Whimsy if you get 40 attack on Chamber 2. Yeah, you could. You definitely could. You could also crit fish it. You could definitely crit fish it. I really wish my Chevrolet was C6. Because I would try this like right now. I would try this. Here, you guys want to see me embarrass myself and not have enough damage? Yes? Alright. Alright. Bet. Fuck it, we're doing it live. This is my Clorinde build. As you can see, it's not quite 266. Also, you can check out my my Chevres here. Mrs. Chevres, everyone say hi to Chevres. All right, let's see how insane this is. All right. Hello. Yeah, let's see how insanely difficult this is. Hi, dog. What's the matter, dog? Alright, Clorinde. He didn't burst, did he? No, he just didn't burst. Okay. No, he just... Chevreuse. We're in Sara. Boop. You're calling it now. Chevreuse next banner. Chevreuse Sijuan streamer. Bruh. Alright, good start. We've got the worst card you could possibly get. No card. My burst is hitting for 30k less per tick. Yeah, that's about right. Hello. All right, cool. We have no cards. Let's do this. All right, we got about half of the HP. All right, we got about half. Close enough. Close enough. Not clicking fast enough? I'm holding down the button. You don't click with this character. Bruh. That is insanely difficult. Nothing but respect. But yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, you get the idea. It's not easy. Genuinely insane. Yeah, I don't think that's easily repeatable with Whimsy. Even if I had the extra stats in the Shivers C6. Got like 25 crit damage behind and 150 attack. It's enough stat outside of 60 damage percent. Do shields take damage? The Herald and Lecture shields have HP bars, yes. The Baptist shield does not have an HP bar. Abyss Bubble Mage shields also have HP bars. Hello, is Mistsplitter better in all scenarios than Lo-Fi on Clorinde? All scenarios? Maybe not. If you have enough external EM buffs, it can be competitive. But yeah, Mistsplitter is her second best in slot weapon. And her second best weapon option. Let me find a place to demonstrate what I'm talking about with the HP bars. Hello. You think bursting at the start of her uptime is griefing? Is it? Yeah, I just wanted to use an overworld example. You said half of the time. Maybe like a quarter of the time. Buh. So you could see Arlecchino's C2 kill one-shot the shield and then it burst hit him. That's an example of how the HP works for their shields. Yeah. Excuse me, Arlecchino, would you like to have your E-skill do something? Coppelius eating your shield? What? Exploration, Arlecchino. Explorer, Arla. Explore Arlecchino. But yeah, genuinely insane stuff. If you want to push the limits on Clorinde, You should probably strongbox echoes. You should probably actually strongbox echoes. Genuinely insane stuff. Alright. Even at C0? Not if your ping is 120? Wait, but I don't think you should strongbox echoes. If you're looking to reset for hours, it's probably her best set. You can reset for hours, yeah. Or if you're cheating and use FPS Unlocker. Echoes should also get bonus procs on 120 FPS. So, that's a thing. How was Echoes versus Z6 Yoimiya? Very good. It's one of her best sets. It's C6. Echoes is the C6 character set, if you didn't know. C6 Yoimiya, C6 Wanderer. Also, you were asking earlier about how it interacts with her E-skill. Yes, all 3 hits hit within 0.05 seconds. It buffs all 3 hits. It buffs all... Echoes does in fact buff all 3 hits of her lunge if you get it to work correct, if you time it. If you get lucky enough. They all hit in the proximity for it to activate. Kek L, yep. If you're looking to reset a lot, reset for lunges to get echoes procs, noted. Yep. Reset for lunges to get echoed. That's the meta. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Genuinely insane stuff. Let's see, what else got sent to me? Do I regret Clorinde from Red Warrior?
Do I regret chloride? Yeah. Yeah. Short answer, yeah.
Ooh.
She kind of just is pretty... You're
ugly. You're
oh, damn! Oh my... Dude went for the throat!
Like, I don't know, man. She herself isn't really that good, right? So, we have this. I have her at a level 9 talent. I probably won't crown her. I just don't see the point in it, right? Like, I mean, I have 14 crowns, and that's saying something if I'm not willing to crown some character, right? Like, what am I really missing
Okay.
out, right? The hunt damage...
You're really not missing out on a lot, actually. Her talent scaling is really bad.
3% on this one, and then only, well, 5% on this one is a lot better.
The burst being level
like,
4 is questionable, though.
That's
very
lot.
questionable.
And then you also have, what, 3%, 6%, 5%. This just isn't good enough. Like, just actually isn't good enough. Per burst, I probably will continue to level up because it does give you Bond of Life, which will help you, you know, heal up. We were discussing Maiden's Beloved because Maiden's Beloved, in the comments, someone mentioned it.
Yeah, it makes her heal more.
Like, I've seen enough of her with the extra healing bonus.
It matters.
To say that it actually is like a serious set you can run on her if you don't want.
Wait, on her? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
To run one of these like super high supports, because with the 20%, right? Because if you have 100% Bond of Life, and if you have
had us in the first half,
you know, this will proc, because if you just have to have over 100% or equal to 100%, right? But if you have 100%, you heal 110%. Now, I don't know exactly how that would work, but I think what Maiden's Beloved would do is go take this 100%
Yes.
and multiply
That's
it and
correct.
get another 20% of this 110%. So
Yes, that's correct.
you would heal up quite the bit, right?
Yep.
It heals you up quite the bit. So it's very good, but Bond of Life conversion, 80% healing. Oh, right, yeah. Doesn't she, like, if you try and heal her, she gets Bond of Life, right? Right here, it says healing will be turned into Bond of Life. Overall, I think this is probably her best team. Just if you want to try and use her, I'll do an Abyss video.
Yeah, no, it really is. Correct.
Change that because it does give you 2.
For a second, I thought this was Fischl's constellation board, and I was like, oh no. Okay, it's
triggers
Clorinde.
and it's normal attack damage.
Okay.
30% of her attack, though. It is only 30%, and it is only 1.2 seconds, so I don't really know how much that matters. And then also her weapon, maybe, as you may know, I like to compare characters with either their R1, which is their signature weapon, the weapon calcs, right? And I don't know whether her weapon is her better option than her, CZ.
He has Futsu, her constellations are better.
Which maybe that is the truth. She just doesn't, she's not insane, right? She's not one of these, Nevi, Arlecchino, Lenny, Navia. Navia, she isn't, like, up there with them. She is the worst, second.
Ooh.
Worst. I would say
second worst.
Clorinde is probably the second worst 5-star that has come out of Fontaine. Probably still better than Risley, right? I would still probably have to say better than. Risley at C0, just assuming C0. But once Risley gets C1, I have a feeling that I might like him more, right? Because it's been a while since I've used just my C1 Risley, because I do have C3. But I don't know. I'll eventually get this to like level 9, right? Like I said, and I'll see it, because I am really impressed. This is the one aspect of her kit that I'm not like I have no complaints about, really. Her burst has good AoE, and it seems to
Recently
do a
taking
good
the
amount of
dive.
damage, right? I think this is like her best part of her kit, actually. Like beyond all of this stuff, it's just convoluted. Doesn't really need to be convoluted, honestly. Like, I mean, it does because it's the way her kit functions. But like at the same time, you're going through all these hoops, and then it's just like functioning basically the same as pitching, right? Like all of this stuff, you don't need it really. It's just, oh yeah, tap E skill, have this, and then
interesting.
You have to get rid of.
All right. Oh, shot fired. Should we look at here? What should we watch next? What should we look at next? Let's keep it moving. What are we looking at next, chat? What am I watching? Galvanized square steel. Keep going with this one.
One of these artifact sets that you have on your characters. I don't know which one, because probably Nahida. Nahida probably is doing the least amount of damage, and she's only really getting this Dendro bonus. You could also run her on this set, right? You could run her on this set. But so if you were to give
tenacity.
Nahida Maiden's Beloved, because I think I
we're Maiden's Beloved.
Pieces.
There you go.
Check.
Okay, he's got the
show you guys
spirit.
The passive. You can even see it right here. Using an elemental skill or burst increases healing received by all party members by 20%.
He's got the spirit.
And that basically transfers over to, Clorinde, which, basically that's it, right? If you were to put Nahida on, Maiden's Beloved, it would work, right? But besides Clorinde just not doing a lot of damage herself, right? She just isn't really that crazy.
I love that he's calling her Chloride. Clorox.
He also doesn't have, like, the best
We bleaching.
partner in terms of a Dendro character, right?
That's not her name. It's like Clorinde.
Rara was mentioned.
She's not chloride. She's not chloride.
I don't necessarily know how good she is. Like, I have
sodium chloride.
I do not remember this. It says
Chlorinde
here. I mean,
could be.
Might
I don't know how to pronounce
good.
it.
Oh, yeah, no, I would not use Kirara then. If these things, I mean, all you have to do is apply quicken, but then again, you have to use your burst again. Like, that's not... What I need is something like this, right? You need this, where it will pop flat.
You need Dendro main character? Let's go!
Flowers and, you know, do damage, which isn't bad. Like, this
Let's
isn't
go!
bad. It's just, I wish it was a little, like, more Furina-like, where it would follow you and it would do damage.
Why are we talking about Dendro main character? Why are we talking...
You know, he... Okay, Alhaitham would literally solve Chlorinde's issue because he's Dendro.
Ooh! Ooh! Shot fired.
This issue would be a lot easier because
Shot fired. Shots fired.
Sitting here and, you know, doing Dendro hits, right? And you would have Fischl, who is, you know, the Electro character to apply Electro. You would have her, and she would, you know, hit the enemy you're hitting because Alhaitham. I mean, well, you would also want like other Electro characters, which you would have other Electro characters, right? You can have Baiju, you can have, or not Baiju, Beto, not Baiju. You don't really have the issue of Electro application in there because
let him cook. Let him cook.
Right, or Yamiko. Whoever you need in that team, you have multiple options to get that. Whereas with this, you know, like Nahida, she's really good. This isn't Nahida. I know this is very confusing. This isn't Nahida.
He's using 4-piece gilded on
with Nahida.
Dendro Traveler?
You don't have that.
Nice.
You kill the enemy and you immediately lose.
This is a cute video. Blonde Nahida. I might implement that in next patch. That's a cute video. Here, who else's content would you guys kind of like to look at? Should we look at a friend of the stream? A short?
I'll give you 15K for the vehicle.
20K.
Nope, not going higher than 15K.
Okay, then no deal.
Sorry, I just gotta take this. Hey, what's up? Whoa, 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 yeah. What do you mean she's being airlifted off the hop? Where is she? I'm in a class right now, but I can be there as soon as I'm done. Okay, just tell her, hello? Sorry, you can't do 15K?
That's fine. Let's just do 15.
Deal.
Got him! Got him!
Guys, today we'll tell you what I think about Clorinde and where I believe she stands in the meta. Let's go. First, let me tell you that I think Clorinde is a pretty good character, but she can also be quite frustrating.
What does our friend Gus have to say?
She's the type of character that in order to perform well, kinda demands you to change your mindset while you play her. As a baseline, I believe that there are two types of Genshin characters. The first are those that make it very easy for the player, because they're very easy to use. So, Nuilet, Kazuha, Zhongli, characters like that are very strong and also quite easy to play. These characters kind of come to you, you don't have to go to them, and by this I mean that you have to make no modification in terms of gameplay in order for them to shine. Meanwhile, the second type is represented by all of those characters that have caveats.
Is he gonna die here? Yeah.
Flaws that you have to just do in order for them to feel good, and if you don't, they can very easily feel awful to use. If I had to describe Clorinde, she's that type of hot woman that you have a crush on, but expects you to pay for all the dinners, buy her a lot of gifts, put up with all of her red flag behavior, and at the end of the day, you're wondering, oh, okay, this girl is hot, but is this worth my time, money, and mental health?
Wait a minute, back up. Wait a minute, back up.
If I had to describe Clorinde, she's that type of hot woman that you have a crush on, but expects you to pay for all the dinners, buy her a lot of gifts, put up with all of her red flag behavior, and at the end of the day,
put up with all of her what behavior?
For all the dinners, buy her a lot of gifts, put up with all of her red flag behavior.
I have no idea what he said. I have no idea.
And at the end of the day, you're wondering, oh, okay, this girl is hot.
Erratic? Oh, okay.
But is this worth my time, money, and mental health? And are we even talking about Genshin here anymore?
Maybe we should check in on him. Maybe we should check. He said red flag behavior. DM you for green flag. You heard him.
But the point I'm trying trying to make is that in order for Clorinde to feel good, you have
You know what we call those women? Bitch. Oh!
compromise a lot, both in terms of themes and playstyle. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that Clorinde is bad, because there are Genshin characters like Line, for example, that are very good but
What a
pretty hard
bitch.
to play. In Clorinde's case, the first problem stems from how long her windows of uptime are. She's supposed to be a main carry type of character, but her special stance that gives her access to her main tools of damage only lasts for 7 seconds and a half. This is an historically short value for main carries in Genshin, and the significance of this is that she
Is he going to talk about the fact that you could use the burst to get significantly... Or you use the burst, it's part of her field time. Is that what he's going to get
can
to?
feel pretty awkward to use in many types of rotations. To explain this, let's say that for example you want to play
No.
Clorinde with Beidou. Beidou's elemental burst
No,
is a
he's
20
not.
seconds
Okay.
long cooldown, which means that as a minimum her rotations will have to be 20 seconds long because that's the minimum amount of time required for her to get the burst back. For the purpose
Okay. Yeah, he's not going to talk about her burst being necessary.
of this example, let's say that you want to play Clorinde, Beidou, Fischl and Kazuha. So
What about the burst? It's another 2 seconds for her field time. So her field time isn't really 7.5. It's closer to 9.5 or 10. Which is normal field time.
a mono-electro composition. On this team, the supportive lineup of Beidou, Fischl and Kazuha only takes about 7 seconds to execute its actions. Then comes Clorinde's window, which is about 9 seconds long with the elemental burst and the special
Okay.
stance
There it
uptime.
is.
Once this window is over, the rotation is theoretically done at around the 16 or 17 seconds mark. However, that's
Yep.
not enough for Beidou to get her burst back, and that's the problem. 15 seconds mark. And Beidou, Fischl and Kazuha, so a mono-electro composition. On this team, the supportive lineup of Beidou, Fischl and Kazuha only takes about 7 seconds to execute its actions. Then comes Clorinde's window, which is about 9 seconds long with the elemental burst and the special stance uptime. Once this window is over, the rotation is theoretically done at around the 16 or 17 seconds mark. However, that's
You get an extra 2 seconds if you Beidou burst, or if you use another Kazuha skill. So 2 E's per rotation on Kazuha, which is what you really want to do if you want to burst every rotation with Kazuha. And the other thing I would add is it's anti-synergy with Beidou, not Fischl. Because Clorinde does really benefit from 16 second rotations. If your rotation is 16 seconds, it's a good Clorinde rotation. That's kind of what you want to see, ideally.
not enough for Beidou to get their
The problem is Beidou, not Clorinde.
burst back, and that's the problem. To fix that, you could try to add other actions like an extra Kazuha skill, but
Yeah.
that's just filler and kinda cope. What I'm trying to say is that due to Clorinde's unique characteristics, there are a lot of characters in the game that don't fit very well with her. So units like Sarah, Shenling, Xingqiu all have to sort of compromise in
Sora's E-skill's cooldown is 10 seconds. Sora's E-skill cooldown is 10 seconds. Sora actually does have synergy with Clorinde. That's the one character I wouldn't have pointed out. Shenling, yes. Xingqiu, yes. Sora? Questionable.
in order to fit on Clorinde's team, and most of the time it's not that optimal. Her best fit is with Fischl, because since Fischl's elemental skill and burst both basically do the same thing in some way.
Both of Sora's elemental skill and burst do the same thing. That being said, I would generally recommend Fischl before Sora too. But Sora's not bad.
Because her cooldowns can be easily manipulated for her to fit any kind of rotation. And this pushes Clorinde towards the teams where Fischl fits best in, so the Dendro teams. I've heard this misconception that Clorinde's only good teams are the Dendro teams because she's an electro character, but that's not actually what's going on here. It's because of her unique circumstances. These teams are naturally very strong as a baseline, and even if Clorinde's didn't have this issue, they
Were we not believing in Chevres?
will still likely be her best. But the reason they're very good in this case specifically is that they have supports with cooldowns short enough to
Are we denying Chevres? We're denying Chevres. Why are we denying Chevres still? How? Where is the justice in this world? Where is justice?
perfectly fit with Clorinde's rotations. Also, her over-reliance
Because no one has her.
on Dendro teams is made worse by the fact they give her access to the Thundering Fury set. Thundering Fury reduces the cooldown of her elemental skill every time she triggers an electro reaction. On Dendro teams, this works so well that by the time her special stance is over, her skill cooldown is also done, and so she can enter the special stance again immediately after.
Okay, this is what we're
Every
doing.
time she triggers an electro reaction. On Dendro teams, this
Okay. Is this the start of her E? Yes.
Thundering Fury reduces the cooldown of her elemental skill every time she triggers an electro reaction. On Dendro
Okay, let's play a game. 1,
teams, this works
2,
so well that
3,
by the time her special
4,
stance is over,
5,
her skill cooldown
6,
is also done,
7,
and so she can enter the
8,
special stance again
9,
immediately after.
10,
This means that with Thundering
11,
Fury, she can manipulate
12,
her rotations however she
13,
wants, and she
14,
gets access to many
15.
more support.
I don't know when he's used the E, actually. I need a better
An
clip.
electro reaction.
I need a better clip. I'd like to try to count this out to see if he's actually benefiting from Thundering Fury in these rotations.
So Dendro teams
Actually,
is
we can just count the cooldown, can't we?
skill every time she triggers an electro reaction. On Dendro teams, this works so well that by the time her special stance is over, her skill cooldown is also done, and so she can enter the special stance
Okay.
again
1, 2,
immediately after. This
3,
means that with Thundering Fury, she
4,
can manipulate her rotations
5,
however she wants, and
6. TF did nothing here. It's really hard to take advantage of TF. It's really hard to take advantage of TF. It's not that it's not good on paper. It's that it's almost impossible to take advantage of.
she gets access to many more supports, but still only on Dendro.
Most people will not end up noticing a difference between TF and not TF in person. Or in their gameplay.
Teams. For example, Furina becomes much easier to use in this situation, and so quick bloom teams that are
It's good for multi-wave chambers. That's fair.
pretty great become available for Clorinde.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Now, with this, I don't want to say that she's only good on Dendro teams, but
What was the rotation that we calced for 4TF during pre-release? You 4TF, you resummon Fischl, you do a Kazui, and you immediately swap back to Clorinde. That's all you do. You can't do 3 actions. If you do 3 actions, TF doesn't do anything. You also don't burst on Clorinde. Or you burst every other uptime on Clorinde, I think, is what you do with 4TF. Yeah, that's what you do. You burst every other uptime.
admittedly, there are not a lot of alternatives here. There are the Chevreuse teams that can be competitive,
So I'll ask the question. If this is a post-release, why are we still doing 5N3E? I'll ask the question. Someone's got to ask it. Are these post-release calcs? Okay.
but most
You think 5 is unrealistic? You get 4. You like 6 as an assumption with an FPS unlocker, otherwise no. I think it's important to be consistent. You introduce a lot of bias when you assume perfect inputs for one character but not another. You have to be careful with it. If you want to present it over a range, present it over a range to talk about how easily she gets interrupted and can lose damage. But in the context of like this kind of calc, it is what's possible. It's what you should do, in my opinion.
mostly only if you have Chevreuse at Constellation 6, which I'm sure is not the case for most people. Oh, you were so.
Dude, this banner. Yes, it is easier on higher FPS. If you're on 60 FPS, it's actually not possible to do E6 and 3E on 30 FPS. It's actually not possible. Tola, did you C6 Clorinde? You need to... Woman. I can't pay you 20 bucks. I'm broke. C6 is Clorinde. Are you okay? Do you need help?
Viewers. You can go and try to play Clorinde with those suboptimal supports in terms of rotations, so Sincho, Shanling, but there is also
What is that? It's double hydro. We're using her burst to swirl. Okay.
are not that great
With the 120 ping, you can barely do it. It's not consistent. Most of the time, you end up doing 5. So you needed a C6 Riesli's girlfriend.
in terms of team damage, not in the sense that they're unplayable, because there are plenty of examples of the contrary. For example, my Discord server admin Gabra made this showcase with double Hydro Taser with Clorinde, and it was pretty good, all things considered. But at the same time, I think you can make this exact case for a lot of characters, in that if your level investment on them is high enough and you play them well enough, they can feel good even on theoretically suboptimal teams. Your optimal teams would be the Dendro teams, and this dragged a lot of people.
This is a stretch.
And theoretically suboptimal teams. Your optimal teams would be the Dendro teams.
I really think this is a stretch and a mistake. Yeah, I think this is a stretch and a mistake to only say Clorinde's only teams you should play are Dendro, and nothing else is worth playing. I think it's a big stretch. I think it's a big stretch.
And this dragged a lot of people the wrong way, because it puts her in the same ballpark as Ketsing, basically. Now, I don't think this is necessarily a problem, because for example, when Line came out, his teams were the same as Klee, but he was significantly better than her, and potentially a game-changing pull, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. And in this regard, I think that when she is at her best, she's the best performing Electro DPS in the game to me, and there is no single doubt in my mind about this. When everything goes right, she just feels considerably stronger than Ketsing in terms of damage, and I have to be honest, it kind of feels like a targeted.
Am I thinking of C6 Chevres when saying it's a stretch? Yeah, basically. You cannot verify, Pipoga.
Bowling from Oliver's part.
Hello.
That's because she feels pretty similar to use, with her windows being quite short and her burst also having pretty much equal effects, but just doing more damage. She really feels like it's...
When am I doing free account reviews? Oh, when am I free for an account review? Tula, would you like an account review tonight? If you're willing to pay for it, I'll do one for you.
Plus, and honestly that's not a bad spot to be in. Part of this comes from the fact that she can heal herself during combat, which allows her to be used on more offensive teams compared to Ketsing. I've seen some people argue that it's not enough to stay alive, but
Not unreasonable.
I personally believe that it's an acceptable amount if you play well enough, and this is where I leave it.
It's so hard to evaluate Clorinde's self-heal. It's so hard to evaluate how useful her self-heal is. Because, yeah, you can easily say it's not good enough to make an impact. And it's more of a detriment because she literally can't be healed. Use Maiden's Nita definitely makes it better. You didn't do it? Thank God. Thank God, Tula. Please stop. Also, stop playing. Thank God.
Bigger issue that can really hurt her consistency is a different one, but first let me remind you that if you enjoy my content, but specifically for her, it's a bigger issue than for others, I feel like. The reason is that when she does her normal attacks to build up the bond of life, she stays in the same spot for around 1 second.
She can't dodge. She has no iframes. She just has no iframes.
And this makes her really vulnerable and exposed to enemy attacks. For her whole window, she will just move in a straight line, that being her elemental skill dash, and that makes it—
Why are we not talking about that her skill dash has no iframe? Why are we only talking of— why are we pretending like you can dodge with it consistently? All your dodging has to be position-based.
pretty hard to control her positioning during the fight. This creates a lot of situations where you have to dash away or just move around to position yourself better in the stage, but of course this comes at the cost of how many attacks you can
He's literally gonna hit in the lunge!
deal during her special stance. The requirement to dodge attacks that can stagger you make her already tiny windows look even more restricted.
The note about the stagger on Clorinde is she can avoid being staggered. That is the thing. You can use Clorinde's E-skill to entirely avoid being staggered. If you get hit in her E-skill, she will not be staggered. So you can certainly play around her lack of interruption resistance. She just has to face tank damage in order to do it.
And for this reason, she can be a lot worse in practice than she can feel in theory. And that's where the Thundering Fury argument
entirely is a scam in that sentence. Well, it's true. She is completely interruption immune during her lunge. She can be hit before the lunge. She can be hit after the lunge, or she can be staggered before the lunge. She can be staggered after the lunge. But during her lunge, she cannot be staggered. There are some enemies that have hitboxes that are out longer than her and her dash. That's fair. Let's try to get the wave attack. Do the wave attack, Mr. Gravity Boss. Yes, you're coping. Do the wave attack. Okay, never mind. I lied. She can be staggered during her lunge. I've been lying this entire time. Oops. She's a little worse than I thought. A little? She's a little worse than I thought. Okay. Yeah, when the Gravity Boss is in Abyss, Clorinde's fucked. She's just unplayable, that chamber, isn't she? She's just... Oh no, it's about to be an Abyss in 4.8. Wait a minute. This is terrible. Wait a minute, she's fucked. Oh no. She's completely fucked. Oh no, she's completely... Nice burp. Actually unplayable in that match. Let's... it has the same HP in Overworld. We can actually just try it. I want to try a Chevr's team. I want to see if the overloads are enough to break the shield. And if she has the right arc, she doesn't have the right arc to disable it. I already know that. She doesn't. Dog! What's the matter, buddy? Time for good old Zhongli. The only problem is Clorinde doesn't have the team slots for Zhongli. Go to bed. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, Mr. Dog. Bruh. Where is Sarah? Kujo Sarah. see how bad this is. Oh no. How bad is this gonna go? Can we get a Gamba on whether or not I kill it before dying? Can we quickly get a Gamba? I'll read it real quick. Alright. Oh. Thank you, Bibogo. Done. Thank you. 1 minute? Perfect. I'll give it a second before we start. Go gamble. Go, my son. Commit a crime. Okay, let's go. Surely I don't die in 15 seconds. We'll be okay. Playable. Certified playable. What constellation Clorinde is this? This is C2. You had faith in me. Fuck! At least the Overload team breaks the shield quickly. Sure, they won't be stronger in Abyss. It actually won't be. I think it's the same HP in Overworld, isn't it? Correct me if that's wrong, but I think it is. Right? Buh. Anyway, back to video.
It becomes even better in my opinion, because by making your rotations much more flexible, it puts less emphasis on capitalizing on her short windows. Her burst is also very important for this matter, because it's a lot of guaranteed damage in AoE scenarios.
Yeah,
I've seen
her
plenty
burst
of
is
people
great.
say that you can skip the burst
No, you actually can't.
because it's better for the DPS in some cases, but
No.
honestly,
It's only better for the DPS if you play on 4TF! Ah! Oh my god.
I don't really see it. It's just a textbook spreadsheet argument. It adds them.
It's only because they're on 4TF! You have to do it without 4TF! It's not optional!
Damage, front roll, and consistency to rotation, so it's just an invaluable ability to me. But yeah, when you do everything in your power to elevate their performance, Clorinde can feel pretty great to use. Really not worse than units like Naga in my opinion. But the flip side of that is that there are cases
What do you say about Navi?
pretty great to use. Really not worse than units like Navi in my
Okay.
opinion. But the flip side of that is that there are cases where the staggering can be too annoying and force you to use a shielder.
Yeah.
Now, I don't
Zhongli, no. Kirara, yes.
really like this solution from a design standpoint because Clorinde is a character that can self-sustain and their damage is clearly partially balanced around that. But if worse comes to worse, you have to use a shielder and that's just how reality is, sadly. My favorite shielding option here is Kirara,
Yep.
because Kirara can also apply Dendro for the team.
Yep.
Even so she can replace Nahida and allow you to use Kazuha, Fischl, and Clorinde. The alternative on Dendro team specifically will be replacing Kazuha with Zhongli,
Which is just not worth it.
and keeping Nahida, which I think is just significantly worse in terms of utility because you lose the grouping and also in terms of damage. And for other teams, Toma, Zhongli are all viable solutions. Honestly, in this scenario, Clorinde becomes astonishingly easy to use. You can basically just spam normal attacks and elemental skills and never even look at the screen. Her attacks feel very automatic and also have a lot of auto-targeting, so if you're in a situation where you're sure you're not getting staggered, she honestly feels like one of the smoothest characters in the game to use. Also,
That's kind. She feels like the smoothest character. I'll let him roll with the
her
compliment.
AoE
I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'll roll. We'll roll with the compliment. Roll with the punches.
upside is deceptively good, because while your attacks don't have some kind of big range, they can pierce through opponents. This means that in a lot of cases where the opponents are close enough, you'll be hitting 2 or even 3 of them, which is pretty great. And overall, even at the worst, I think she's still at least slightly better than other Electro DPS.
Yeah.
And to continue on the point I made before, even though she's
Is this a really subtle Raiden jab without pointing it out? This was a really... Because he talked about Kitsing directly in the video. Wait a minute. Wait.
for sure reliant on Dendro teams, characters like Kasaino, Yae, Genshin are even more reliant. People have been able to make it work on pretty interesting teams, like for example my friend Jamie showcased this team with Chi-Chi, Furina, Zhongli and Clorinde, and it was pretty good all things considered. The idea behind this team is that Clorinde is using the
Oh my god, not this shit again.
Sword to deal physical damage on every normal attack, and Chi-Chi is there to apply superconduct on a consistent basis. Since Clorinde deals a lot of normal attacks, she will trigger the Skyward Blade effects plenty of times, resulting in a big chunk of damage. It's definitely an alternative, out-of-the-box thinking kind of use, but still pretty good.
It's really bad. It's... whatever, man. I give up. I give up. It's funny.
Her unique synergy with some specific characters could also lead to more uses in the future. For example, Furina, that provides healing bonus through her elemental burst and makes Clorinde's own healing even better. Or more in general, healers, that through their healing can provide extra bond of life to Clorinde during her windows. This can potentially make Clorinde use more full stack skills during her uptime, but actually it's also pretty random. And that's because it's just pretty hard to correctly estimate how much bond of life you have at 10.
No, it's actually because she attacks too quick. Most healers tick at slower intervals than Clorinde is E-scaling. There's very few healers. Actually, there is no healer that can fully enable N2E consistently. Essentially. But yeah, if you want to play Superconduct, it is actually better with Mika instead of Chi-Chi. The Mika's attack speed is worth more than doing N2E, even if you could do N2E consistently. Chi-Chi can't with her talisman? No. Not quite.
Any given time. So for example, you have no way to know for sure when you can use a full stack elemental skill with just 2 normal attacks instead of 3. In short, it's just
no healer, Bennett Shivers Shinobu. No healer. Oh my god. It's difficult. I think if you build Chevres for full healing, you can do N3E and N2E alternating. His lack of AoE makes it clunkier than Chi-Chi. Do you know how little of that damage is Fizz from Skyward Blade? I've calced it. It's 50,000 total. Do you want to know what happens if you don't have Superconduct? Why is this still 50,000? Oh, that's Lecture Resistance, that's why. 40,000. There's no fucking difference! There's no fucking difference! There's no fucking difference! There's no... It's such a small portion of the damage! There's no fucking... There's no fucking... He doesn't have AoE? Who gives of shit! You're doing electro damage! You're doing electro damage! Oh my god! Oh my god.
Just more consistent to stick to the normal rotation.
Doesn't Miko literally buff the fizz damage? Yes. Oh my god.
Please, Oyovers, add a tracker for this shit. Overall, I think Clorinde is a pretty problematic character, but if you can put up with all of her red flag behavior, she's pretty good. At least reach the Ornadia level, so just as I estimated in my pre-release guide. And with this, I'm done for today. If you enjoyed this video, make
Yeah, fair enough. I am too wound up. It's funny, but people legit think it's meta team. It's a funny meme. It's just a funny meme. TF versus Skyward Brainrot. Everyone needs a meme. Everyone needs a gimmick. I wish people didn't try to gaslight into claiming that these things are better. Just because I show you a clip of an impressive clear doesn't mean it's actually good or useful advice. It's sort of textbook gaslighting. Then I have a serious problem with it. Doesn't like your skin. She's a cowboy. It's cute. It's delusional. There's a cowboy Carrara skin. Textures were leaked? No, they... You mean models? Bruh. Bigger white numbers. Absolutely based. Bruh. Hidden constellations. I have no problem with doing constellation showcases. If you're gonna try to present a difference, though, you need a control. And at the end of the day, Skyward Blade's a 4-star weapon. It just is. Skyward Blade's just a 4-star weapon. It's arguably better than Lion's Roar R5. Is this too much?
This is not a joke. A brand new Clorinde team has been discovered that features the use of none other than everyone's worst 50-50 lost nightmare, Chi-Chi. This team was invented by Chinese content creators and then recently popular, but still doable. So if you don't have your Chi-Chi but you do have a C6 Mika, this can work. I also tried Charlotte, thing we've ever seen in Genshin before, and I love that this cool, crazy team exists. And you could say that the team is carried by Furina.
Okay, he's literally doing 2k fizz proc per 2k damage per proc. Which, is that consistent with the spreadsheet? Let's actually take a look. No, it's actually not. Why is it not? No, it is. One, no. 2. Yeah, why is this doing half the damage it should be? Oh, super duct. 1k. It's because this is in the wrong place. Plus 0.4. Okay, there we go. Whew. So if you were to do 55 normal attacks, 60,000 damage. There we go.
And for sure,
It's just like
I
the super conduct just doesn't do anything.
I see the argument. Like, the fact is, you can replace Chi-Chi with Nahida and give Clorinde the Iron Sting or the Umbrella Weapon, and yes, the team performs better. And this is actually one of my...
Okay. Then whatever. It's a funny meme. I think people love the idea of the meme team, right? I think that's what it is. I can't believe people are being gaslit into thinking this is like genuinely something good. I can't believe it. It makes me a little sick. It's just actual textbook gaslighting. This is the same stuff as saying Morgana is really good. Oh my god. Morgana was so fun, Sag. I'm sorry, Morgana was never the best team. It was all gaslighting and hype. Ooh. Bruh. Man, the memes go too far. Oh my god. What's the DPS on Morgana? 30k. 40k at most. It's very based. Hello. Oh my god. Dang, that's all? Yes, that's it. 1 PvV? No. Oh my god. If you had to decide, just admit I hate Chi-Chi. There's nothing to admit. I don't hate Chi-Chi. I would hate recommending Chi-Chi. Because I know how bad she is. I genuinely know how terrible Chi-Chi is. A lot of people don't understand the, like, raw depth of how bad Chi-Chi is. She doesn't generate energy. Her E-skill cooldown is 30 seconds. And she has an 80 cost burst. Chi-Chi is genuinely awful. She heals a lot. It doesn't really matter when there's nothing else good about her. Alright, Gigi is a character who will never be good unless she gets directly buffed. At least Barbara is Hydro and a 4-star. With a lot of the same issues. Ooh. Barbara's only as well because she's a catalyst in Hydro TBH. Yeah, basically. The thing that directly scaled with healing amount can make Chi-Chi good. There are 2 sets that do that now? It didn't make Chi-Chi good. Clam is capped. Yes, it is. Is there any other characters that don't generate particles besides Chi-Chi, Barbara, and Noelle? Chi-Chi, Barbara, and Noelle. Is there anyone else from 1.0 who is a healer with their E skill? Because that's what that's the heavenly restriction that these characters are placed under. If they heal with their E skill, they're not allowed to generate particles, is the 1.0 design philosophy. I don't think there were any other healers in 1.0 that healed with their E skills. No, there weren't. Zhongli, yes, you could say Zhongli doesn't generate particles. Yeah, there you go. You can credibly say Zhongli and Mona don't generate particles. Zhongli's particle generation is 50-50 when his pillar pulse hits, but if his pillar never hits anything or doesn't get placed, it's 0. Mona generates particles in her taunt explosion. If enemies aren't near the taunt, it's 0. C0 fires on? Yeah, fires on. If you don't do a charge attack, it's C0. Eula's always guaranteed at least 1 particle. Yeah, so we know Null doesn't generate particles. It's because she's a healer. She heals with her E-skill. When Null has her E-skill up, she heals with her attacks. You love sometimes not having your burst. Also, Albedo too. Albedo's sometimes not a functional character. Bruh. Chi-Chi's not a weird design when you consider that they didn't exactly know what a good character looked like. And they also just have always historically overrated defensive utility. I would cite 1.1 Zhongli. Yeah, I would cite 1.1 Zhongli, Diona as a character. Xinyin, Sayu. They've kind of always been like that until very recently with like Xiangyun and Chevres. If you're a healer, you kind of just don't do as much. But yeah, the thing is, 1.0 characters were somewhat developed for just overworld. They designed these characters for overworld, right? In 1.0, they didn't give a shit about Abyss. Reminder what the 1.0 Abyss looked like, actually, because it was insanely hard. I do not think they thought about how hard it was. Yeah, I do not think they thought about how hard this was in 1.0, because this was insanely difficult back in the day. 1.0 was a bunch of Cryo Slimes. No, it was a bunch of Shield Fatui. Super spread out. Who was the last character that gave an infusion to another? Candace. This is floor 10 now. Bruh. This also had dropping icicles and cryo debuff at all times. Yeah. It was made for whales with all the standard characters. This is a cryo, or this is an electro hammer for Tui. Cryo was the only way to break these shields? You either killed him before he shielded up, or you killed him very slowly. Or you brought Kaio or Chongyun, because those were the only cryo characters in 1.0. So, I don't know about what for whales. Duluth was good because he could stagger to delay the shield, yeah. Also, this was a cryo for Tui. Also, this was Ice Cage. Yeah, this Ice Cage, bruh. Ice Cage on top of all this stuff was, oh my god. I remember raging to the Ice Cage in 1.0. Because no one was level 9. No one was level 90. It was like Ua Tower, where no one's characters were fully leveled. So the Ice Cage would just straight up one-shot you. Even without Bennett Burst, it would just one-shot you. It would. The Cryo Gunner Legionnaires are in Current Abyss 12.3, and they literally hit just as hard today as they did in 1.0. Their Cryo Flamethrower attack is not balanced. It's not. Ooh. There's also 75 pyro damage off Dealer Felt Strike. Yeah. People at, no, level 80. As it goes, remove the watchshot domains now. Yeah. Maybe 203 because Shinyan Shield cleaned up your cryo. You were Bentless until 1.2. Nice. I can tell you what I did to clear it. I did Diluc Venti. Right, Diluc Venti Kaya Bennett? And then I did Jingcho Fischl Shangling Kutzing on second side. Is how I cleared it in 1.1 or at the end of 1.0. Bruh. Look, it isn't an attack goblet versus an electro goblet for Fischl. You want to give Sethos an electro goblet? You don't like sharing. Just share, please. Please just share. You don't need to have 5 electro characters geared at once. Hello. Not sharing is based for gearing. Bruh. Bruh. After stream, can I tell you who is worth leveling? On this account? No one? No one.
剣がこの手にある限り、私はフォンテーヌの法律と規則を代表しているんだ。
But is this a useless all you built? It's Enka. Enka.network. What is this?
Fischl? Well, without her, I would still be D-tier garbage, so I'm quite grateful to her, and obviously she is.
Oh, that girl. Well, people keep comparing me to her, but I think it's clear to everyone that she's...
Isn't it obvious? I gave her a vision for this very reason. Even though I am the Electro Archon, that girl is...
She outdamages me. She's less teammate dependent.
She's more flexible too, and of course, among us 4 stars, she is
the strongest.
Hello there, Flip here, and as always, you know the schedule is due time for your complimentary Fischl glazing video. But in this case, the first half of this video will cover Clorinde and why Fischl is so vital to our teams, and very close to a must build if you plan to use Clorinde. But before we do that, hi! Clorinde and Alhytham are around the corner, and if you'd like to save yourself some cash, then I'd like to announce the sponsor of today's video, Loot Bar. Loot Bar is a safe service I've been using for a few months now that synergy or whatever people are going to call it. I'm going to make this very brief. Clorinde is an electro on-field carry. On-field carries typically want to swirl their element. Clorinde has no way to apply electro swirl without sacrificing a large part of her damage, but with Fischl she can through a charge attack or just by casting Oz. Woo, video done. That's not my hands clapping. Okay, that's not the full explanation, but that is the most general way to explain it. For any Onimo team, you can't really use Clorinde as a solo electro, unlike Raiden, who can use a team like Soup as her E gives you some off-field electro for swirling. So the easiest way to solve this issue with Clorinde is just by using her with another electro unit. Then the other problem arises with the fact that most of the electro units are either played on field or aren't self-sustaining, whether that's a team issue or energy issue. Kuki kind of does nothing for Clorinde, especially considering the fact that she heals herself anyways. Yai takes a hot minute to set up, and her damage profile isn't going to be that amazing when she isn't constantly proccing aggravates or just on-fielding. And then Lisa, ER issues, and even when not accounting for this, she's still not going to be as good as Fischl offensively. And lastly, Sarah. Keeping my personal biases aside, for hypercarry teams she should be fine. The problem comes in with her not having very consistent application for teams like EC or Aggravate, where you can lose the Electro Aura before swirling depending on setup. Also, Clorinde doesn't really do enough talent damage by herself to compete with hypercarries without reactions. And considering that with Bennett/Sarah you'll go over 3k attack, you'll also get less value from her A1 too, which is like 40% of her damage. You'll pretty much need her signature and a good whimsy set to make using Sarah hypercarry more worthwhile than just slotting Fischl on the team, who's able to add in her own damage to lighten the amount Clorinde needs to be competitive. So TLDR, just use Fischl. The Princess Endeavor Talang will give you consistent electro application and damage, which will be super important for swirling and especially aggravate. Fischl's also amazing battery, allowing your Clorinde to burst every rotation with little ER investment, which allows Clorinde to start her damage windows with her burst for an instant high damaging E, which should be an extra action than just using her skill normally, and the burst itself does a pretty good amount of damage. Now for even more detail, Clorinde's aggravate teams will just be Fischl, Nahida, Kazuha, or Sucrose. Clorine's self-heal means you don't have to run a defensive unit at all, as she'll be able to very quickly heal off the damage dealt to her, leading you to use the shuttlecock with no issues. And Nahida has a lot of value in having the best Dendro application, and with her A1, she'll also give Clorinde up to 250 EM, so you won't have
He's unaware.
to use an EM sense for Clorox in this team. And I don't think I really need to explain why Fischl's so good here, but basically Fischl has an A4 that will trigger on every electro-related reaction procced. Aggravate is a reaction only limited
Within 0.7 seconds because of ping delay.
by your electro application that adds a flat amount of damage from your stats. So whether you deal 1000 damage or 1,000,000 damage, the amount aggravate adds will stay the same, so unlike Vaporize, you don't need to capitalize on big hits. And instead, smaller, faster hits would be preferred, like Fischl's A4. And assuming you have a decent Fischl, this damage is enough to carry teams, so even a character like Kitching, who doesn't do that much damage, can add Fischl into her aggravate teams as she applies a lot of electro, and will be able to proc aggravates for Fischl very often. So now you take that same principle and apply it to Clorinde, who has a better damage profile than Kitching, while also having a pretty fast rate of electro application, and you get a very strong duo with the both of them. Additionally, because Fischl at C6 has a 12-second uptime twice, working on 25-second long rotation means you're able to maximize her uptime and therefore damage. Clorinde normally can't do this because she has a 16-second cooldown, but if you use the Jeff set, she can operate in these 25-second rotations, having a damage window twice in one rotation. Because normally she would have to play in an 18 to 20-second rotation, which only gets one Fischl window. I do think that people are over-exaggerating how good TF is going to be, which I'll explain in a later video, but this further cements Clorinde and Fischl as very good partners in what, in my opinion, will be Clorinde's best team. But
did he end up uploading the quiz video? Where is the quiz video? I guess I didn't upload it yet. Boo. I did he had me do a quiz for Genshin questions. Apparently I got second place. Prepare to be shocked by my knowledge. Whenever he uploads it. How wide are Eula's thighs? The same as Clorinde's. We scientifically confirmed that Clorinde has the same sizes as Shenhe. Real. Scientifically? Yes, very scientifically. Will they stay after the height nerf? I don't know. Bruh. Completely unrelated. I found out Comic Historian passed away. Bruh. I can't believe it. Bruh. Actually tragic. Wait, who? Comic book YouTuber. And podcaster. Bruh. I can't believe it. Ooh, comic historian, Benny. Bruh. Actually tragic. Alright, I think I got the streaming bug out of my system. We did the re-identity. Ugh. Yeah, I feel good about that. Take care, chat.